Correct. It's all good. I would like to first and foremost honor Amy, who has been working so hard trying to get everything together, right? I did that just to embarrass you. You're welcome. We really love you and all of the effort that you put forth for every Sunday morning. So I'm going to go in reverse this morning. Typically, I start off with an upbeat one. To the best of my knowledge, the message today is on finding strength or peace or both in order. So this is, I guess, a really introspective tune, as much as I get that way, about finding your inner light. So this one's called Mirrors. Flames lit long ago, the deep silence of my soul, as it burned, turned and walked away. Let it burn, left it behind, set out on my own, to see what I could find, to see what I could find. What did I find? What did I find? I found you in the corners of my mind. Now it's past, turned into years. Now I find myself back here. Things are still unclear. Things are still unclear. Still unclear. Still unclear. Despite the years spent inside my mind, what did I find? What did I find? What did I find? Yeah. What did I find? Yeah. Flame is lit long ago, deep silence of my soul, as it burned, turned and walked away. I walked away. I walked away. I walked away. I walked away.
Good morning. Thank you, Dave Hannon. Dave, I went to ask him a little bit about, he's been here so many times before, and share something with me that you'd like me to share with the congregation. And he said, my name's Dave. So I thought that was kind of sweet. And so Dave teaches 7th and 8th grade language arts here in Tacoma, and that right there is a gift. He is a Gonzaga graduate and a loyal bulldog, according to Cerny. And he and his wife, Nicola, enjoy the love and celebration of their 1-year-old baby girl, Libby. And both he and Nicola was here 2 weeks ago and played for us. And they both are wonderful musicians. And thank you, Dave, for being here with us today. My name is David Sandelhill, and it is my joy to welcome you here this morning. If you have any questions, concerns, or joys to share, please contact our office during business hours at 253-301-0385, or you can email us at office@unityofsouthsound.org. At this time, we would invite you to put your cell phones into the airplane mode as we prepare to lift off into the love and the light of Unity of South Sound. Now we invite you to relax, reconnect, and center in the truth of who we are. Will you please join me in saying our opening affirmation? There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotence. Our mission statement, inspired by the divine, as an inclusive spiritual community, we explore and express our highest potential. Our vision statement, present and centered in divine love, we co-create a peaceful and awakened world. And our core values, we are love, joy, abundance, and spirit-guided. And I'd like to invite Reverend Megan up to light the Unity candle and to open us in prayer.
So we just take a moment to feel the vibration of life that is inherently reminding us that we are divine by nature. So we just take a deep breath into that and let it go. And we stand firm knowing the power behind our opening statement. We say it in a more prayerful vibrational energy. There is only one presence and one power active in my life, in this ministry, in the universe. God, goodness, omnipotence. And I am one with that presence and power. So we know that in this moment. And as we live from that truth, we allow ourselves to be that demonstration, and we send that energy out into the universe to every living being, that they might be inspired, awakened, and to remember their divinity and the difference that they make with everything they think, say, and do. And for that we give thanks, and so it is. Amen.
Now I'd like to invite you, if you're able, to stand and join with our song leader, Joey Sandow Hill, in singing our congregational songs.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, and God so much more than the earth or the stars or all of creation. God is creator, all in all, needing us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, all makes all things new. And God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I
each other with the Namaste greeting. If you feel comfortable, you can give an elbow bump. Otherwise, I just invite you to place your hands together and say, Namaste, I behold the divinity you are. Namaste. The inspirational reading for this morning just went away. Hang on just a second. There it is. Okay. Comes from the Daily Word from Saturday, December 8th, 1945. I now claim the divine order and harmony that are God's will for me. God has placed in my heart a desire for peace, happiness, and every good thing for myself and for others. In my mind, I am resolved to have them. Now I must discipline myself to live so that as to bring them to pass. This is divine order in living. Divine order is much more a matter of the heart than it is the absence of dust, of punctuality in keeping appointments, or of the orderly arrangement of affairs. These are important, but not most important. Divine order is divine economy in the use and the resources that God has entrusted to me. Divine lavishness in all that is friendly, constructive, or helpful. Strict abstinence from that which is unpleasant, destructive, or discouraging. Although divine order finds expression in all outer ways it begins within. I cannot think in fruitless, haphazard ways and expect to conduct my life in an orderly fashion. I am willing to make the effort to have order within and without. Think on these things, Philippians 4:8. And now I'd like to ask Reverend Megan to come up and lead us in a time of meditation.
Thank you, David. So in preparation of our journey within, I invite you to put aside anything that may be a distraction, And just feel yourself supported in your seats, your hands open to receive, and allow the vibration of our singing bowl to begin to open our hearts and our minds to receive. Breathing it in. Feel the vibration resonating within you. And taking a deep breath, and just feel that breath expand within you, and let it go. And gently closing your outer eye if you have not done so. So we might open the inner vision from within to see and feel and know truth in this moment. Again, taking a deep breath, feel it expand, connecting with every cell of your being, animating you. And again, letting it go. Knowing that with every exhale, we consciously, intentionally release anything and everything that is not one with our divine nature, that is not one with our wholeness, that is not one with supporting the divine flow and harmony of order in our mind, body, and spirit. So we breathe from our head down into our heart space, to the intelligence of the heart. We allow ourselves to be in that inner sanctuary, knowing that in that place we are safe, protected, and have the opportunity to expand the awareness of who and what we are. For this is the place when we listen, we absorb, and we have the courage to say yes to making those adjustments in life to bring us back into the evolution of moving us forward in harmonious and abundant ways. So as we sit in the silence, allow yourself to consider what is in the way of divine order in and through and as me. What needs adjustment to support my wholeness in a greater way? In the silence, listen. I breathe in And I allow myself to receive the realization of insight from Spirit. And in that, I give thanks and appreciation for knowing that everything I need is always from within. And as we take another deep breath in, we open our eyes, we feel refreshed, renewed, restored, and ready to just take that one step moving forward into the harmonious flow of order in our lives. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Megan. So I told you all that I'm going in reverse order. The first one is you could label searching for divine order within yourself. And then this one is about the folks that come along and maybe give you perspective on the order that you are searching for in your life. You can read into that as deeply as you want. Unpredictable. Life is so unpredictable. Never had to see, never had to know such beauty just to look. Unpredictable. Meeting you is unpredictable. Never had to see, never had to know all that I am in look. Oh, you helped give me the words I couldn't find. Yeah, you took those words, gave them their flights. You held them near to my heart so I could see all the good things in me. After all, unpredictable. You were so unpredictable. Letting me go so that I could learn to fly on these old two wings of mine. You loved me enough to let me go so that I could learn to fly on these old two wings of mine.
You know how much fun his household must be? With the two of you both be singers, and you can just imagine music and dancing around. Yeah? Oh. So, today's talk title is The Power of Getting Your Ducks in a Row. So I just bring a little visual. You know, it's like getting your little ducks in a row. Do you know how to do that? Well, it's with duct tape, of course. Just had to say that. But, duct tape you could do a lot of creative things with. So, it's like put a lot of things in order. But more on a more serious note, recently the world lost a significant legacy with the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. And I was reminded of a favorite passage that I use from Scripture in every memorial service that I've officiated, from the book of Ecclesiastes 3:1, where it's written, "For everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven." The spiritual realm of existence. And so that sets the foundation that there is always an order in things from a spiritual perspective. And that is the suggestion that there is a divine order that is in the process of getting our ducks in a row, so to speak. You know how it's so cute how little ducks line up behind their moms? It's just like, and they just follow each other along. That's the harmonious flow of life that we can get in alignment with. It's a natural progression. You don't have to say this is how it's supposed to be. And so that is the practice for successful living. And order, divine order, is the topic we want to explore today as the 11th spiritual power tool in our summer series that we've been exploring, the 12 powers of divine mind and of light, based on Charles Fillmore, who was our co-founder of the Unity Movement. And it's important to recognize that as a co-founder because Myrtle, as a partnership, they collectively created and brought together what we now know as Unity. And it was never meant to be a church. It was meant to be a spiritual practice of coming together to get to know that divine law within us and how to use it in our life from the teachings of the masters. That included the teachings of Jesus, but also the combination of the Western and Eastern philosophies of life. And so, when awakened and activated, we express what we call the Christ consciousness. It can be Buddha consciousness, it can be divine consciousness, whatever word, because I know some people, certain words tweak you, so it's okay to let that go and use a different one. It is that divinity within us that we are awakening more fully and then following that demonstration of living our divine nature that Jesus left us as his legacy. But so did Buddha and Lao Tzu and Krishna and all the contemporary spiritual leaders that show us the way to live from our divine nature. And we're using the book Divine Audacity by Linda Martellett-Whitsett as a contemporary guide for what she calls these divine lights. And I really think that it makes a lot of sense to call them powers of light, because every center within us is vibrationally light activated, and we're meant to radiate it and to shine it. So with every one of these powers, and next week, as you notice, I said the 11th, that means the 12th is next week, so we'll be wrapping this wonderful kind of foundational time that we've been building together. Every one of those powers is aligned with a disciple, one of those that Jesus called to join him to demonstrate truth. And the disciple that represents the faculty of order is James, the son of Alphaeus, sometimes called James the Lesser. It is not known whether that disciple was called the Lesser because of his stature or because he was considered less prominent than in the group than the other James, the son of Zebedee and the brother of John. James, as we already talked about, demonstrates the quality of wisdom. But since both disciples were called James, we see that these qualities then, as they represent, must be closely related. The centers within the two Jameses are in proximity of each other, because we've talked about how each one is a center within us aligned with a chakra or an organ, closely related to those wheels of energy that are within us, whether we recognize it or not. So when they're activated, we are aligning with our wholeness. And when anything is not in harmony as it's meant to be, that means it's out of balance, and it's where our work needs to be. And so the centers within these two Jameses, indicated a need for close cooperation between these faculties, wisdom and order. The son of Zebedee, wisdom or judgment, resides in the pit of the stomach. We talked about that. What's that chakra in the center called? The solar plexus, that's it. Just came back to me really quick there. So the solar plexus, which is, you know, when your stomach is upset, it's like it reminds you that something is off. But the son of Alphaeus, the lesser James, works through the digestive organs and makes his home at this point just behind the navel. So you see how closely related they are and how important it is to notice when something is off. You're going to really feel it. So maybe it's about taking a note of, is there something out of order in my life? Something out of balance that needs my attention? So the power tool of order, therefore, is about reminding us of the significant impact on our ability to process the vibrational energy of life. Because if our center is off, we are not in alignment with the vibrational center of life, that energy of life, and its influence on our mind, body, spirit alignment of wholeness. All these things matter. So the power tool of order, according to Charles Fillmore, is the first order of the universe. I don't know why we didn't start with that one, but this is the order it comes in. One thing at a time. He says, indeed, there could be no universe unless its various parts were kept in perfect order. The facts of spirit are of spiritual character, and when understood in their right relation, they are orderly. Orderliness is law, and it is the test of true science. Because spirituality is a science. Divine order is the faculty by which we establish harmony, balance, right adjustment, right sequence of action in our lives. And as Martilla Whitsett says, it is the power of organization, adjustment, and evolution. Adjustment. It doesn't mean complete, destruction of something. It means maybe a subtle adjustment, that something's just off. And so I get back into the flow. This relates directly to creation, which we will be diving into in a much deeper way in our process of the Fall Faith and Action program that will be kicking off in 2 weeks. Based on The Creative Life, the book by Eric Butterworth, which it's time for you to start ordering. Get your copy now. But I want to touch on how it aligns with the power of order and the significance of it. So when we look at the book of Genesis, 1 through 5, the very beginning of the Bible, we find creation story that shows the law of order in action. On the first day, God gave us light, and from the void, God gave us form into the universe. It starts with just a blank slate. And that's for you to kind of contemplate as we allow this canvas to just be with us for the next couple of weeks. And so then in the creation story, every day represents a stage of the creative evolution and the development of our world. Each day, each step in perfect order, our world evolved. And on the seventh day, it is said God rested. He took a break. He took a breath. He appreciated what had been created. It was the assurance that all steps were done in proper order and that all is well, as it should be, right? Ready to continue the evolutionary process of life, because we just don't be complacent that, okay, that was done. Now I do nothing? No. The process continues. We just took a break to appreciate what was. So the creative process by which the abstract becomes manifest form is what we call mind-idea expression, the order of life. It comes from the universe, from divine mind, a concept that we focus in on as an idea. And as we focus on it, it becomes a physical manifestation in our world. So we're going to study that to really understand and practice it over the 7 weeks of our Faith in Action program. So I hope you're excited about that. So God's source, and I really have to preface when I say God, I know it means different things to different people, but we're talking about source, vibrational energy, not a being. So God's source created the world in an orderly fashion. Again, as it is said in Scripture, for everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted. Then we're moving into the fall harvest, so that's appropriate, right? So that is how our world was created to operate, how our life is programmed to function, the order of the first law of the universe, spiritual law. We're being asked to align with it, to use it, to follow it, to live it. Nature honors this law as we experience the seasons of life around us. Have you noticed that? There's no like, oh no, I think I'm going to hold on to this season. I'm not ready to go to the next one yet. I'm going to cling to my leaves. No, I'm not letting them go. No, there's just this harmonious process of allowing and letting things move from one to the next. And so imagine the chaos that would result if we could not depend on the length of the days or the sequence of seasons. It doesn't happen. It cannot be changed because it's established by spiritual law. No matter how hard you try, you cannot interfere with that process. So it is, as Jesus said from the Lord's Prayer, on earth as it is in heaven. Earth meaning the physical, heaven meaning the spiritual realm, that which is where we live in our divine nature. So the condition of our outer world is always the perfect outpicturing of our inner world. That could be a scary thing. What is your inner world picturing? If we do not like the picture we see or what we experience, we can change it by going within and putting our thoughts and our feelings in order, making an adjustment, reorganizing it, allowing the evolution of things to shift into a form that supports the whole in a better way, of what we want to manifest, of what we want to experience. It comes from aligning with that within. And what do we do as humans? The first thing we do is look to the outer world, right? Somebody else has the answer. I'm going to see, we might learn from that, but you still have to take it within. What's the order for me that allows me to be in harmony for my life? William Wark, a Unity minister, said in his book, How to Use Your 12 Gifts from God, our body temple is a human mechanism which contains spirit as our soul. As a mechanism, it is completely obedient to your consciousness. Like a computer, if it receives improper programming, it will go out of order or break down. If our equipment, our sound equipment, for instance, is out of sequence with the setting that allows the expression of what we want to happen, it will be out of order. And then we have a wonderful person like Amy who knows how to get back into order by troubleshooting and listening within. It's like, okay, this didn't work, there's another option. I will bring order back in so that we can manifest our desired result. That's what we do in life. And so he goes on to say that if we receive improper programming, it will go out of order or break down. Divine order restores in us that which is out of sequence. So let's just breathe that in. Can you just even feel in that breath how it somehow kind of realigns? There's this moment of just sort of, it's okay. That can be the beginning of bringing order into our lives. So perhaps you are holding thoughts or feelings that are causing short circuits in your consciousness. It can happen. Your body too will short circuit because it is completely a product of your consciousness. Did you know that? Now, it's not to shower shame or blame or anything else on you. It's just an awareness of the power that we have to make adjustment, to make change, to support the harmonious flow. A Band-Aid might help in some situations, but the real correction needs to come from within every single time. Every single time. So I know I'm not the only one who's experienced chaos in their life, right? The times when I feel stressed, overloaded, things don't seem to be working well, my house is a mess, it's out of order, my kids are being uncooperative and harassing me, I can't find where I put things, my finances are out of control, I'm unhappy with work, I'm too tired to do anything fun, I'm not eating right, I'm not exercising, I feel fat. I hate my hair, my relationships are suffering, I feel sad, my dog bites me, I stepped on a bee, my favorite cup breaks and my car broke down, etc., etc., etc. Anything else you can add to life? So I'm not kidding when I say that all of those things happen in my life all at the same time at one point in the past. There was no order in my world at that time, and I knew that more than one adjustment was going to be necessary to be made. But the one that mattered the most was my acknowledging that it was me that had to make it. As much as I wanted somebody else to have the magic wand to fix it all for me. Now, sometimes we have to lean in on others, right? Just to help us get through, but it comes down to, it's like, there's a resilience in me, and I have the courage, see, I'm calling on the power of strength, to find a way to get through the circumstances. So I'm standing here today to say that one day at a time, one step at a time, one breath at a time, I found my way to bring order back into life and to move forward in a much more empowering way than I was at that time of my life of total chaos and overwhelm. I transformed my life in a process that led me to shifting things, to making the adjustments, to reorganizing, to allow evolution to happen through me. Was it easy? Of course not. But I was willing to work with the law of order and to be led into putting my life back in a way that supported my highest and best good, because I had to sit in knowing that was the truth, knowing that the source within me would not allow anything but the highest and best to be active in and through and as me, even when I couldn't see it for myself. And from that added activation of the power of strength from within to persevere, and the power of release to let go with what was no longer supporting my health and wholeness. As you talked about last week, see how they all work together. It's not always just one, but one maybe primarily brings my awareness that something needs attention. So in the state of chaos, it's impossible to move out of it by doing nothing. I just want you to be clear on that. You can choose to do nothing, but by doing nothing, nothing changes, right? So if you notice that you're uncomfortable, then you're going to have to allow yourself to move forward to do something different. As I said, it's not easy, but it's possible. When we shift our consciousness and call divine order into our lives, we call for it. We choose to align with it. Nature demonstrates to us that chaos is not acceptable, that disorder needs correction. And that's what it is. It's just a correction, an adjustment. And it's always moving to bring it about. If we pay attention, if we have the courage to move with it, yes, it's going to take you into that place of discomfort, out of your comfort zone, into perhaps unexplored territory, unfamiliarity. And it's not that chaos is a negative, it is simply the process of reorganizing. It might just be reorganizing the same elements, They're just not in the balance that supports your wholeness. So why does humankind, the highest form of life, seem to have so much difficulty in establishing harmony, right relationships, and orderly growth? Why? Well, animals, plants, and birds just go right along living as they're intended to live, doing what they're supposed to do in harmony. Think about that. So the answer is because we've been given the power and the freedom of choice. The choice to seek or not to seek the kingdom, so to speak, that place of alignment. The kingdom is that place of heaven that's not in the realm above us. It is when we are in the divine flow of the spiritual law, active in and through and as us, when we feel that, the power of our divinity in our lives. And so that choice is a part of divine order. Humans alone, as co-creators with God's source, we are co-creators because we have the power to choose how to participate. We can think consciously, make decisions that can lead us in ways that support us, or it can lead us into a place that is, a stalemate, or it's not working. But see, the thing is that when I notice that I've reached this dead end, or this is not working for me, I have the power to recorrect myself, to choose something different, to go another direction. It's not the end of the path. I don't have to just stay there and go, now I'm stuck here. The divine order within you does not support that. It will push you. It will make you uncomfortable. It will say, go another way, change direction, check it out. It's interesting that all other forms simply follow instinct. Inherently, they just follow the flow of life. We could learn from that. However, we have an enhanced experience of it. So to develop divine order, we must learn to cooperate with spiritual law. Sounds simple, but it's a practice because we have a tendency to get off track pretty easy. So we have to bring ourselves back around. Orderly and harmonious cooperation with divine law leads to the orderly, harmonious unfoldment of your spiritual nature in the same sequence that nature follows in its growth. Breathe that in. I can observe nature and learn from how it flows. It doesn't resist. It doesn't go, I don't want the sun to go down. I want another couple hours of daylight. Oh, it's too cold today, make it warmer. Notice the flow, and they just keep moving with it. So know this, disorder is the lack of order in some part of your life. Disorder is the lack of order in some part of your life. Just as the dictionary defines the prefix dis as a separation, negation, or reversal, disorder is a separation or reversal of the natural order in life. We just separate ourselves from the flow, whether it be in mind, body, or spirit. Sometimes all at once. That's pretty overwhelming. That's when we might feel like, I just give up. And yet, we have our breath to remind us we can just take a baby step here. The solution to disorder then is to restore order to the area where order is lacking. Make sense? Charles Fillmore says the divine order, the divine idea of order is the idea of adjustment. And as this is established in man's thought, his mind and affairs will be at one with the universal harmony. Adjustment in my thoughts, in my words, in my actions, and I will be at peace and feel the flow of life supporting me. So how do we do that? It's not just with duct tape. It can be useful, but. So we call in divine order by ridding our lives of non-essentials. We collect stuff in mind, body, and spirit, right? So we release the non-essentials, emotional blocks, greed, obstructions, clutter, wherever they are or wherever they might be needed, whether it's in our home, in our work, in our relationships, our communications, if it's in mind, if it's in our thoughts, if it's in unforgiveness, holding on to resentments, that kind of stuff. What is blocking you? What is blocking you? See how the power of release comes in here? Nature's way is to utilize what it needs, to give generously and to be free from that which is no longer usable. What is no longer usable in your life? What do you need to get rid of? Now, I had a huge awareness on that in the process of moving. Had all kinds of stuff that really wasn't usable or essential, or that I didn't really need, and yet I noticed there was a great attachment to some of it. So I had to decide whether it would be usable enough to carry across the country. And even now, I remember there's things, I know I had this thing, it's like, oh yeah, I got rid of it. I guess I didn't really need it after all. So we get rid of the non-essentials, or nature will dispose of them for you. Have you ever noticed sometimes that happens? Something breaks down and it's like you have to replace it because you weren't paying attention or you resisted the need to replace it for many years or so. Again, using the power of release. You know, I had a really interesting experience. Friday, I got together with Reverend Karen Lindvig, the senior minister at Unity of Seattle, who installed me here as your senior minister. And we've been wanting to get together. And she said, well, you know, every Friday I go to a spa and I work on my talk. And I thought, wow, what a concept. And so we were going to get together, but I had to go to Linwood because that's the spa she was used to going to. I discovered they have one here in Tacoma. Yay! Olympus Spa for women only. Sorry, guys. However, so we go. She decided she was really burned out. They just opened their new facility, so she was taking the Sunday off. So she goes, "We're going to go to the really good spa because I don't have to work on my talk." I'm like, "Okay, I'll work on my talk somewhere else." We had this experience. And I did not realize, I hadn't done this in a long time, of just allowing myself to be in the flow of being nurtured and pampered and cared for. And I did a body scrub. And I'm embarrassed to say how much they scrubbed off. But my skin is as smooth as it's ever been that I could ever remember. I mean, but it was like pretty nasty. But I see it's like it's helping to get your body in the flow of, it's like releasing the non-essentials, releasing the stuff that my body was clogging up some part of me. And I feel this lightness and this freeness because I gifted myself with this experience of just immersing into bliss, seriously. Do this for yourself. You know, and I thought about, that is a part of order because it's a part of my body being back in order so that it can serve me in a greater way. And it also helped to open up my mind because I felt this sense of relaxation and peace. So do something constructive about disorder in your life. It is easy to determine where disorder exists. You usually will notice it pretty well. It exists in those areas where you have not been expressing your full potential, where you've been ignoring something. What area of your life have you been ignoring? What needs attention? To bring yourself back into order is to be proactive. We must do something to make an adjustment, to reorganize, to be in the flow of evolution, which is letting go of what no longer serves so I can absorb what is benefiting me now in the moment. So I want to conclude the lesson today by remembering order is the outgrowth of your complete agreement and cooperation with spiritual law. We have to consciously make that choice to be in complete agreement and cooperation with spiritual law. Learning to apply spiritual laws in your life, you will finally move into spiritual realization of the quality of order. You will feel that harmonizing flow. Yes, this is the right choice. Everything is opening up to support me. That's what happened when I said yes to moving here. There was this divine flow of order. I felt something was quite not right in my life. I needed to shift, and I had to make some big adjustments. So what are those for you? Learning to apply spiritual laws in your life, you'll finally move into spiritual realization, and you will feel the flow and the energy working for you. You will feel it. And when we do that, we have the courage to take action to release what no longer is usable, useful, or supportive, and shift our focus, attention, and direction toward those things that will lift us up in alignment. Lift us up into what supports us, what restores us, what aligns us with wholeness. To grow, to evolve, to develop the infinite potential that's inherently within all beings, whether we recognize it or not, inherently within each of you, as ordered by the universe. It's divinely designed within us. Get in the flow. Be in alignment like nature. We know how to do this, and we have the tools to support us. We have the vibrational light to call upon to bring about organization, adjustment, and evolution in its right order that supports thriving mind, body, and spirit. So as a reminder of our power tool of order, we're going to put into our spiritual toolbox a little yin and yang symbol. We have that on the PowerPoint slide. Yeah, so it reminds us to bring things to balance, that there's two sides to everything maybe, or more than two, but they support each other when we align in order and allow them to serve as they're meant to be. So you put that in there. And I want to invite you to affirm this truth with me. A higher order is unfolding in all areas of my life now. Together. A higher order is aligning in all areas of my life now. Let's say it again. A higher order is unfolding in all areas of my life now. See it, feel it, know it. And can I hear an amen on that? Amen. All right, one more thing. We're going to say it again in announcements, but we are having a community meeting after service today. And so I really want to invite you to be attendants, because there's an exciting order of things that have been going on behind the surface, behind the curtains, so to speak, to bring things out for you to benefit from and to realize, but it will only benefit each of you and this ministry by your participation. So I hope that you're excited and willing to come and join us for a little while after service. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Megan. Divine order and divine timing are sisters skipping down the street together. And this definitely was a message with divine timing for me, so thank you so much. It's now an opportunity to welcome our newcomers and our live streamers. We want to thank you all who may be joining us for the first time here. Anybody here for the first time? Yay, hi, welcome. Whether you're here with us for the first time or online, thank you for sharing your consciousness and your love with us. Also, we have a welcome packet at the back of the room if you're here in person. If it's your second time and you've joined us, welcome back. And if it's your third time or you've been with us for a long time, or if you're new here, everybody, welcome home. And to all of our friends who we want to share this unity blessing, to all of our newcomers and live streamers, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity you are. At this time, we'd like to prepare for a love offering and invite Dave Hannon back up to prepare for his next song. This is the time in our service where we get a chance to share our financial blessings with this community. There are 4 easy ways to do so. You can visit our website, www.unityofsouthsound.org. In the upper right-hand corner of our homepage is an orange donate button. You can make a one-time or an ongoing donation. It's simple and secure to do. You can call our office, 253-301-0385. You can email us at Unity of South Sound, 710 South Anderson Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405. And if you're here in person in the sanctuary, there is an offering plate at the back table on your way out. Whichever way we make these tithes, we hold these love offerings at this moment in our hearts and in our hands, and we affirm together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am in perfect balance and flow with the universal tides of giving and receiving. Thank you, God.
Of order in our lives. And funny enough, it is called You Can Make Your Way in the Dark. So I think when order is restored, we feel like we have made our way through whatever difficulties may come our way. So.
Welcome to the horse of this life. We'll stop and let around, blind trying to switch on the lights. This is life, it's not fair. This will make it anywhere. I'm supposed to find someone who cares. Explore the many rooms. Some are close off. What more can we do? We make the best of our problems. We just continue to move. To move, yeah. You can make your way in the dark. It's alright, it's alright. You can make your way in the dark. Make your way in the dark. It's alright, it's alright. You can make your way in the dark. It's alright. Yeah, it's alright. Yeah. Frustrations mount, build up high, come crashing down on you. Feeling small, backed against the wall. And this is life, it's not fair. Doesn't make it anywhere. I was supposed to find someone who cares and explore the many rooms. Some will close off. What more can we do? Make the best of our problems. Just continue to move. To move, yeah. You can make your way in the dark. It's alright, it's alright. You can make your way in the dark. You can make your way in the dark. It's alright, it's alright. You can make your way in the dark. It's alright. Look up, it's alright. Yeah. La-da-do, la-da-do. La-boom, la-da-boom, la-da-do. Yeah. It's alright.
Thank you, Dave. So now is the time in our service where we get to, I just love being a part of a community that's giving. Don't you love that? We give our tithes and our offerings and our love gifts to this community, and then this community gifts it back out to the greater community in a percentage. And I just love that. I love being a part of that. So we have a very special blessing to share with you this morning, and we would like to bless all of these tithe recipients for our July tithes. You can see them up there. Let's see. Unity of South Sound has a commitment to tithe 10% of all the love offerings back out to the community, to trusted organizations that help us build a world that works together for everyone. We hold these tithes and love offerings in our heart and affirm this together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am perfect balance and flow with the universal tides of giving and receiving. Thank you, God. We have several announcements today, but we're going to go through them kind of quickly because we are on a little bit of a time constraint because we're having a community gathering this afternoon right after service. So there are some announcements in the e-blast. Please be sure to check the e-blast on our website, and that will give you information there. Community gathering is today immediately following the service. We would like to share some important information about upcoming events, the state of our finances, and other important updates. We invite you to grab a quick snack from the fellowship hall, which is right over here, Wesley Hall, and then join us back in the sanctuary for this event. Volunteers, we're still doing some outreach for that, so please look again at the e-blast for those announcements. And again, I'm just going through these quickly so that we can move forward into our next area. New member opportunity, this is important. If you'd like to have a vote for the new board members, become a prayer chaplain, or have a voice in the unfoldment of this ministry, becoming a member is important for your discernments to be counted. As a new voting membership prerequisite, we'll be offering a 2-part Unity Basics class on Tuesday, September 20th and Thursday, September 22nd, 6:30 to 8:30 over Zoom. This is a required course for those interested in becoming a voting member. And now to talk a little bit more about faith in action, I'd like to invite Reverend Megan back up to speak to that. Thank you.
Thank you, David. And membership is important, so I will be doing the facilitation of this class when we're talking about what is unity, what are our guiding principles, our history, and also focusing in on prosperity and prayer as a practice. So this is a great reminder for any of you that are already members. You may want to participate, and your wisdom and your experience could be a benefit to those that are looking to becoming a member. So if you can pop in on either of those, that they're both required to attend if you haven't yet become a member. Faith in Action is a wonderful event where we call upon the entire community to come together to learn and grow and evolve. And in this year, to vision. And so we're going to be using the book, The Creative Life, which I forgot to bring a copy of. Oh, it's right there in the center of that picture, by Eric Butterworth, who is a classic Unity minister and author, to focus in on the creative process, to really understand how we use it to manifest and benefit the highest potential in our life. We're going to dissect it, we're going to play with it. And so I invite you to sign up for a study group. Is there 6 or 7 groups? Anyway, the signups are back there. You can also email the office, call in Heidi. There are only 8 per group. So if there's a particular group you want, it's important to sign up right away so you don't miss out. If our groups fill up, we have backup facilitators. We will cover it for everyone. But this is going to be a time of really coming together to share our wisdom and to practice together. And there's some other events that are collective, that are in, I forgot the word I was going to say, but anyway, it's all of these things will enhance our experience. So next Sunday, the 25th, we're going to share with you more about how to be of service in this community, how to get involved. So all of our teams will have a sign-up sheet in the volunteer area and the hospitality area, and a representative there to talk about it, to answer your questions. So what I'm inviting you to do is to find a place to serve this community, because your presence makes a difference. We are then going to have a prayer novena on September 30th. I am so excited about that. It is a way for us to set the foundation vibrationally and to really be immersed in the experience of prayer. We're doing a little mini version. Normally it's like over 9 days or 9 weeks or 9 hours, but we're going to do 9 prayer calls, because novena means 9, in a 3-hour period. So 1 prayer call every 20 minutes from a different faith tradition. We're doing it here from 9 to midnight, because in the silence of the nighttime. And part of the process is having to push against our need to go to sleep, but to be in the awareness. So we're doing it here. We're going to have stations around the room where you can participate silently in prayer in between the calls, and also a labyrinth in Wesley Hall. We will have it on Zoom for those that it's challenged to be here, so you can still participate and experience the prayers, and we invite you to create that sacred space in your home. So if you have questions, you can email the office, and I will personally respond to them for you. So we are setting off October 2nd as our kickoff Sunday. The kids are doing a pancake breakfast. You have to be here on October 2nd. They're going to feed you well. Pancakes, sausage, no, not sausage, bacon, scrambled eggs, juice, coffee. We're going to do it downstairs. We have a full kitchen and an auditorium down there. Did you know that? So I know we can't ship it to you if you're online, sorry. But they will have to-go boxes if you can't stay, so you can still take it home, and it's all for a donation. So be here on October 2nd, and then watch for new things that are happening. There's going to be a creative invitation for you to participate. This is going to come alive. So you are not going to want to miss our fall experience. I think that's all I should say right now.
And now let's welcome our children.
Divine order, about order. With our Uniteens, we talked about how we prioritize our lives and where God and divine order fit in the priorities of our lives. And then with our young kids, we talked about how we get order in the chaos of life, and the importance of orders and instructions, and even knowing the rules and knowing the directions about things in life. And then the YOU also talked about divine order. So we were on the same page as you today, all in divine order.
And now let's bless these Godlights. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity you are. Parents, if you have children up here, come on up and take their hands. Everyone else, we invite you to stand if you're able, and hold your hands high as we sing the peace song, sending peace out to the entire world.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace and harmony. Let there be peace on
our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love. The power of God protects us. I am the power. The presence of God enfolds us. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever God is, I am. And all is well. Thank you for joining us. See you next week. Same time, same place. God bless you all.
And don't forget to
And don't
see us
forget-
at the gathering here.
What's that?
And see us right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Don't leave.